man behind the curtain.
Exactly.
Let me say an official good morning to everyone. And now we're recording as well. It is November 29. We're officially after Thanksgiving. So I don't know if that means we're officially in summer mode. If you're like me, you're barely in Christmas mode. So I'm excited to be here talking about summer 2024, though. And I know Janeé's got a lot of great um, ideas for us to talk through in this first hour here. For the benefit of the recording, I will say that Janeé has about an hour of presentation prepared, and then we will be splitting off into breakout rooms to discuss. If you're watching this recording in November or December, we do have a couple of opportunities to continue learning and discussing summer that I'm sure Janeé will highlight as well. So I will turn my video off for now, and Janeé, turn it over to you.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday morning, and I hope you have a beverage with you and your notebook and pens ready to go. Um, Welcome to Read, Renew, Repeat 2024 Summer Library Program Virtual Workshop. I'm going to move my screen that way so that we can see. Here we go. For those of you that don't know me, that are new to the library world, first of all, welcome. And my name is Janeé Jackson-Doering. I'm the Youth Services Consultant with the State Library of Iowa. There is my contact info below, my phone and email. So if you need any,
Put my earphones on. They're kind of.
if you have any youth-related questions or concerns, or hey, how do I start a teen program? Please reach out to me. I would love to help you. I would love to come visit your library, and I do bring goodie bags of books. I had to share this picture because I love Dog Man, and every time I go to a bookstore or some type of library event or anybody that has like a cutout, I have to just take a picture. So that's me at the Super Duper Buddy Dog Man cutout. I just had to do it. So cute. But please get a hold of me for all of your youth-related concerns. And I just want to take a quick moment to introduce our team that's helping with us today. We have, as you met, Samantha Bowers, our continuing education consultant. We also have Brenda Hall, our library program director, and Marianne Morey, who is our central district consultant. All three of our friends will be helping us today with the breakouts. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you all for your help. It is truly appreciated. And our plan or agenda, I'm going to share some state library summer resources. We're going to talk about using the guide, or excuse me, the resource guide. We'll also share information about prizes, tracking, and registration. I'm going to share briefly a little bit of some cool story time ideas that you could do for birth through kindergarten. I'm also going to share some really awesome programming ideas for birth through kindergarten, upper elementary age, tween and teens, and I'll share some final thoughts, and then we'll move into our breakout session. So that is the agenda for today. And before we get started, I just wanted to go over some friendly guidelines. Our expectation is that everyone contributes today, whether it's on the chat or through the breakout session, if you're on camera, or if you just want to enter your comments in the chat. We just expect that everyone contributes because everyone is learning from each other. So please keep that in mind. We ask that you do share ideas in the chat because we're learning from everyone. Please be respectful of others and do go to the bathroom as needed. Let's face it, nature calls, you got to go. So please go to the bathroom as needed. Please don't disparage others. Don't be afraid to share your comments, questions, or ideas. Don't forget to hydrate. My best friend always tells me that, so make sure you have a water bottle handy. Don't forget to stand up and move because we really need to move our bodies. And in sitting, they say sitting is just not good. So please don't forget to get up and move. And don't forget to have fun. This is supposed to be a fun experience, and we learn from everybody. And I hope the ideas that I share with you today gets you excited too. And we are going to move to our state library summer resources. So I'm going to share this page with you real quick. I read the annual survey that we put out for summer reading at the end of summer reading. I read all those comments, and a lot of people had said, hey, I didn't know the state library has Canva templates. Oh, I didn't know the state library offered this. We are providing a one-stop summer reading training shop. Thank you, Sam. Sam's already on it. She's got it in the chat. But go to the link that Sam is providing in the chat. That will pull up the summer library program page. So it has all the training opportunities that we're offering for 2024. We have the video to the resource guide. We have also summer reading office hours. That is new this year. And that is something that I really wanted to offer for youth librarians or librarians who are just stuck and they just don't know how to plan summer reading. I am offering 2 office hours this year. The first one is December 12th from 11 to noon. And the second summer reading office hours are January 9th from 1:30 to 2:30. Registration links for both of those are on the summer library program page. The Canva templates will be released January 22nd, 2024. So please stay tuned for that, because we will provide all those links to all that information on this page. So this is, again, as Sam put in the chat, your one-stop shop for all things summer library reading. And this year, we decided to also create an instructional video on how to download the resource guide and graphics. If you have not downloaded the resource guide and graphics, no problem. Definitely watch this video, the YouTube video, and that'll teach you step by step on how to download both the resource guide and graphics. Very simple, very easy. It will take a little bit of time, but don't worry. But definitely watch that video, and that will definitely help you out. And Sam, look at Sam. Sam is on it. Sam has it in the chat. She has it in the chat and ready to go.
Janeé.
Yes.
What should I do if I haven't gotten the code to download the resource guide and graphics yet?
Excellent question. We sent via mail the resource guide and the code to download the resource guide and graphics to your public library director. So I would check with your library director first if they've received that email from us. If you have not received that email with the code and instructions, please email me as soon as possible. I am more than happy to send that to you. And that way you guys will be good to go.
Excellent.
And you can put my email in the chat too, Sam. Could you please, so kindly? Please and thank you. Taylor says, what was the subject heading for that email? That's a great question. Let me pull that up.
I will look it up, Janeé, if you want to move along.
Okay. So we're now moving to using the guide. So when you download the graphics and you download the resource guide, you will look at the chapters and they're organized by these categories: early literacy, or EL, C for children, T for teen, A for adult, F for family, and the AA stands for all ages. So you'll use these icons as you're looking through the arts and crafts guide, the program planning guide. You'll look at all of those for all those icons as you plan to help you sort out which programs are age appropriate for which group. For prizes, tracking, and registration, this is what, if you have not gone to the iRead store online, it's iRead.org, I believe. Definitely check them out. They have a ton of different prizes available this year. I'm just highlighting a couple. Birth Through Preschool, they had these cute little finger puppets that you can hand out as prizes. For elementary ages, they had the read, renew, repeat drawstring bags. They have a water bottle. They had this really cool tablet also that kids or teens could use. But let me back up. I know prizes are, it's tricky. It's tricky to know what to give for a prize for a child or for a teenager. I'm going to ask you to think outside the box this year. For kids and teens, I would consider having a private program or experience for them. So that could be a grand prize for your patrons. So for example, if you have an elementary student that wins, you could throw them a pizza and slime making party as a grand prize. You might, for a young child, if you have a preschooler that wins, you could have a sensory play story time program, a private program just for them. Teens, we know are fickle. We know they have different needs, they have different wants. I saw a lot of cool prizes for teens offered last year. Gift cards are great, either to the movie theater or to AMC. That would be an awesome prize for them. I know Davenport Public Library, they not only gave away gift cards for teens, they also had an art and craft kind of goodie bag or a goodie basket. It was super cool. I really, really liked that idea. But also, I would also consider throwing an after-hours teen gaming party. Teens want experiences just for them, even children. They want experiences that are tailored to them. So think of a cool experience prize out the box that would be easy to do, fun for the kids, fun for their caregivers, and really outside the box for teens. And I'm seeing a lot in the comments right now. And looks like Taylor says, we do these experiences already with our teens on a regular basis. We love it. Excellent. Sarah Andreessen says, our teens actually love making slime. Yeah. Tracy said, we had a slime party last year and they had so much fun. Let's see, Ambry. Hello, Ambry. We tried a movie party with teens last year and it was a huge hit. And this is amazing. Let's see. Oh, and it looks like Taylor also does the game days and escape rooms also. Brianna had a teen overnight lock-in last year with 12 hours of mostly eating food, playing Uno, and running around the library playing Capture the Flag. Yeah, so those are some great prizes. Those are some great grand prizes to give away. And when they sign up for summer reading, maybe consider signing them up, giving them their reading log or task sheet or however you see fit, and maybe giving them a book as a starting prize. So that way they can read that book, come back and enter their name for the grand prize, which would be in a private program or a private experience. So think about that as you plan out what you'd like to do for prizes. But these are all great comments, so thank you. Tracking. How will you track? How will your kids track what they're reading? I know last year we had the summer rainy bingo sheet. A couple years ago, we had where they had to color each little triangle as a little maze to get to a prize. Will you do a paper log? Will you do a virtual tracker? Some libraries use Beanstack, which virtually tracks their reading, and then they can get a prize. Will you do minutes read? Will you do a game board? Will you do a bingo game? Or you can do an activity log by age, where it's birth through preschool, kindergarten through second grade, third through fifth, and teens. Different things to consider. I will say, with the board games and the bingo games, all of those sheets, I will be creating them on Canva. They will be available January 22nd. A lot of people did not know that we offered free reading logs. And I was just kind of perplexed by that. So I really want to reiterate, they will be available January 22nd. And I'm trying to get them out earlier so that way you can go out to the schools to promote your program. So that's why I would like to get them out early. And think about, how will you register your youth? Will you have a form with their name, phone, email, age, grade, or school? Think about, how will you use that data at the end of summer reading? Is that data going to be shared with your board members? Is that going to be shared with your local schools? Think about, how will you sign up your daycares, your preschools, your summer camp groups? How will you register those kids? Will that be similar to how you sign up patrons that come in up every day? Or do you have a separate log just for them, where it's just a classroom log or a preschool log or a daycare log? Think about the different ways of how you can do that. And schools, will they help you register kids before summer reading? That was something that I did at my previous library right before we left. We targeted the second graders, and I did outreach visits with them. And in May, their final visit, their final trip was to the library. And so we had, I think it was about, what was it? 60, 65 second graders, I think, that they came to the library. They got a tour. They did a scavenger hunt throughout the library. We talked to them about summer reading, and then each child left with a drawstring bag, a book to get them started, and the actual activity log. So they were signed up for summer reading before they left school for the summer. So think about all those things as you plan, as you think out summer reading. I'm just going to look at the comments just to make sure. Okay. Okay, so we're going to move to birth through kindergarten story time ideas. I'm just sharing a few ideas. So, and I just want to reiterate that I'm only sharing a few ideas in the interest of time. So you'll need to really look at the resource guide and read up on all the cool activities that are inside that guide. But this is one idea that is not in the story time, or sorry, in the resource guide. This was something that I came up with a couple years ago. This is swim story time. If you've never considered conducting a story time in or outside the pool, I would consider it. It was a very fun program to do. There's 3 libraries that had did it: East Side Library, and there's me in the middle, South Side Library, and Altoona Public Library. I got to see Sheila conduct swim story time in the pool. It was very fun. But consider this. This would be a fun program for your kids, for your caregivers. But it's a 20-minute story time where you read stories, you sing songs in or outside the pool, however you feel comfortable. To do this program, I would connect with the Parks and Recreation Department or your pool director in early January or February, because that's usually when they start to line up lifeguards, get the word out about pool season, and looking for people to help with that. So really connect with your pool director or Parks and Recreation Department to set this up. And when you do set this up, I would schedule your story times before the pool opens to the public. That way it's just kind of tailored for them. That way there's no kids running around, no families, no families pushing or fighting or shoving in the pool. Schedule those story times before the pool opens to the public. That way it's a much more engaging and fun experience. Like when we did this, the pool let the kids and families in for free. And one time it was before the pool opened to the public. One time we did it during normal pool hours, and they had a blast. It was fun. I had teen volunteers pass out popsicles afterwards, but it's a fun and engaging program. You also want to make sure with this program, wear sunscreen or sun hat, have a teen volunteer or an adult volunteer nearby, just to help if you need the help, and be mindful of the weather, because there's also extreme heat and of course thunderstorms. So you really want to be mindful of the weather, and if there is inclement weather, communicate that right away to your families, whether it's through your social media channels or signs in the library. But consider this program. It was very fun. I had a blast doing it. And I bought those caps, those flowery caps, kind of like Esther Williams when she would swim in the pool. I loved it. I'm looking at the comments. Let's see. Janet DeVries, we had thought of doing this last summer. Yes. Kelly Roberts says we did a swim story time last year and it was a huge hit. Yes. Looking forward to doing it again. Wonderful. Another program that I conducted, and I've seen other libraries do this too, is Sunshine Storytime. And it's a 20 to 30 minute story time outside. I asked patrons to bring a blanket, a chair, or a tarp to sit outside. And I had the library where I worked at, they had a shady area with grassy area. And it was just a lot of fun. We had songs, stories, songs with movement, and we offered playtime afterwards. But if you have the space, use that space. If you do not have grassy area or greenery or any type of space that they could sit, contact your Parks and Recreation department to see if you can use their park or a shelter. That way the families can go outside, listen to your stories and songs and rhymes and movement, and they're able to engage in this activity at a park or a shelter with you. And again, be mindful of the weather. Be mindful of the extreme heat, storms. We don't want our young friends to be sick or any caregivers. So you'll need, if there's some inclement weather, please communicate that quickly. And let's see, more comments. Our small town isn't set up for something like this, but we could set up a plastic pool and sprinkler at the library. Absolutely. Yeah. You could get the sprinklers out. Absolutely. Read your stories outside and afterwards have playtime outside with the sprinklers and maybe some sidewalk chalk. That's a wonderful idea, Rhonda. Great. Thank you. And Linda says, do you have any interactive book ideas for the pool with lots of splashing or bobbing? Yes, I do. And I can put together that list and send it out if you'd like via Library Talk. Would that work okay with everybody? You can give me a heads up or thumbs up.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Let's see. Taylor says, I highly recommend splash balls, reusable water balloons. Yes. Huge hit every time we do it. We take them to our county fair on the Kids' Day. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. So we're going to move to upper elementary age program ideas. There's some really cool ideas in this guide this year. When I say upper elementary age, I am tailoring ages 6 to 11. So just to give you an idea of what I mean by upper elementary age. So one of the ideas that I really loved was this cardboard pinball machine activity where you grab lots of different rectangular cardboard boxes, scissors, hot glue gun with glue sticks just in case. You will have to be mindful of a craft knife. Please be careful with that. I would have an adult just mostly supervise that craft knife, excuse me. But they'll just create their own pinball machine using hot glue, scissors, and the cardboard. Maybe you have some stickers so that way they can put some stickers inside the bottom of their cardboard pinball machine. And also grab some bouncy balls. You can get those at Dollar Tree. But I love this activity. It's a great way to get rid of all those old cardboard boxes, or if you got some Amazon boxes lying around or Baker and Taylor boxes, now's the time to use them. And think outside the box. You're going to hear me say that a lot today. But specifically for this program, I really liked this idea, and it's on page 170. Think Outside the Box is an open-ended, process art-oriented program. Now, for those of you who don't know what process art is just where you lay the materials out and just let the kids make whatever they want. There's no model to look after. There's no, oh, you got to make it just like this. This process art encourages creativity. It encourages children to use their imaginations more, and that's what we want. So with this program, you can use found items, cardboard boxes, newspapers, etc. Set all those items out on the table, and you just ask your kids and families to create whatever they want. Definitely have some tape, pencils, scissors, markers, crayons, etc. out for kids to decorate. Maybe some cups, like some red Solo cups, but give them that autonomy to really create and explore. This is a great way to use up your old craft supplies, especially if you have old craft junk from last summer reading or the summer reading before. Get all that stuff out and let the kids go to town and make whatever they want out of a box. You'd be surprised at what they can come up with. And if you want to pair this activity with a story, pair it with Not a Box by Antoinette Portis. That's a great picture book because the young bunny has a box and he says it's not a box, it's a mountain. It's not a box, it's a car. It's not a box, it's a hot air balloon. So you can pair that with that picture book to kind of open up your program and let them go to town. What a great opportunity. Mini terrariums. How many of you guys have made mini terrariums before? No, maybe some. Oh, looks like looks like nobody has made mini terrariums. Well, if you are interested, this is your first time to make it. Oh, someone did. Sarah did. Yes. You can use small mason jars, nature items. So have the kids go get some pine cones, some grass, some leaves, moss. Grab your hot glue gun with the glue sticks and small animal figurines. This is a cool activity to do. And when I made this, I used a plastic mason jar. Bad idea. Do not use the plastic because the hot glue gun, the glue does not stick very well to the plastic mason jar. So you want to use glass mason jars for this project. And just so you know, the program can be held as a family program. You can do this as a tween or teen program, or an adult program, or an all ages program. And let's see, I just wanted to see, there was a question. Someone had asked, what was the name of the book of the process art? I'm going to put that in the chat. There you go. And it looks like Connie says we did a similar project by making mini fairy gardens, Christmas scenes, and also you used a teacup and saucer. Very cool. And Megan, she did terrariums for Halloween. And Sarah says they're a lot of fun. Sarah Foss says they're rotting on my desk as we speak. Yeah, so be careful. We don't want to make sure you have them rotting as well. Okay, I have to share this idea. Everywhere I've gone, I have told people about this idea, and it is one of the coolest programs I've seen. I've talked about it at work too. But consider having a puzzle swap. Now you're probably thinking, why? What am I going to do? What about a puzzle swap? It is the most easiest program I've ever seen. So the library I went to, my former library, I went to this event with puzzles to give away. They have tables set out. So one table was 0 to 300 piece puzzles. The next table was 300 to 500 piece puzzles. And then the third table was 600 piece and up. And so all you do, you set out these tables with those signs, and people come in and put their puzzles on the tables according to how many pieces it has, and they just swap them. That's it. It is the most easiest program I have ever seen. And 26 people came to this program. I saw teens at this program. I saw adults. I saw brand new puzzles, old puzzles, puzzles that hadn't been open since COVID. People were just wanting a place to swap puzzles because they were done using them. She also had an attendance sheet, so that way she could keep track of how many people attended the program. But this was a great idea. And I asked an adult that was there, and I said, so how come you're here? How come you're swapping your puzzles? And she said, well, I don't want to pay $20, $30 on Amazon when I can come to the library and swap them out for free. And the cool thing was, after the program, they all went into the library, checked out books, checked out materials. So if you're looking for a great way to swap some puzzles and get people inside your building, consider holding a puzzle swap. It was a ton of fun. This is a very cool program. This is recycled plastic water bottle sun catchers. This is on page 283 of the resource guide. This beautiful display was created by Strawberry Point Public Library. I had to take a picture of it because it was just so pretty. And the materials, you just take empty plastic water bottles, permanent markers, string or fish line, and scissors, and you cut out the bottle. You can color them with permanent markers beforehand, or in this case, Strawberry Point, they used paint. So they had the kids put paint inside the bottles, and once it dried, they cut it out, and they took the lid with the bottle still sealed on there, and they had it on a string or a fishing line, and they just glued it to a piece of cardboard, if memory serves me right. This can be held as a teen program or an adult program too. But I just want to thank Patty Lincoln for allowing me to take this picture and show it. But this was a very cool program. They had several of these hanging up inside the library, and they're just beautiful. And it's a great way to get rid of those old plastic water bottles too. And since we were just talking about puzzles, if you have some puzzles in your collection that you're weeding out because they don't have the pieces anymore, don't throw those pieces away. Use them for a puzzle piece canvas heart. This is on page 275 in the resource guide. This craft was pretty easy. You just take an 8x10 canvas, white canvas. I grabbed some clear gel tacky glue, and I drew like a tree trunk with permanent markers. And then I had puzzle pieces from a puzzle swap that I got. And when I went to go put the puzzle together, I realized it was missing pieces. And so I took those puzzle pieces and just made a tree with it. Super easy to do, super fun. You could do this for a kids program, adult program, teen program. Very, very fun, very simple. And it's a good way to get rid of all those puzzles that don't have all the pieces. Looks like, oh, I'm reading this comments. Laura Hopper says the water bottle idea is very cool. Yes. Christy Hager says we circulate jigsaw puzzles in our library, so a swap would probably go well over here. Absolutely. Ambry says she's taking a couple of puzzles no one wanted and gluing the pieces onto a Christmas tree shape to make ornaments. Yeah, that's a great idea. All of them are wonderful ideas. And nature programs. So since our theme this year is read, renew, repeat, it's all about conservation. It's all about preservation and restoring. So if you're looking to have a naturalist come to your library or a guest speaker, consider having a nature program at your library. I would check with your local Parks and Recreation department if your town or city has a Parks and Recreation department. We, at my old library, I had the Parks and Rec environmental education specialist come out and talk to the kids about butterfly migration and why they migrate to Mexico every September. So he was great. He brought pictures for the kids. He brought actual monarch butterflies. And all the programs that the Parks and Recreation Department offered were free. So really connect with your local Parks and Recreation Department. Take a peek at what they can offer. Just call them and ask, hey, what do you offer? Are there programs that you could come to our library to talk about with our youngsters? Other options. Contact your county conservation or naturalist office or extension office. The Iowa Association of Naturalists would be a good place also to contact and partner to see if they can bring programs to your library. Or ISU Extension, they would be a wonderful resource as well. Also, consider talking to the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. Gus Elliott is the Conservation Education Specialist. It is a new department, and Gus is trying to do some more outreach programs around the state. And there's his contact information. He is a former teacher and a former principal, and they are looking to do different programs, whether it's a story time with an activity, you name it, they can try to do it. And their programs are free, but it depends upon the program. So a story time and talking about different nature activities with crafts, that would be free. There may be some things like some outdoor activities that might have a cost. You'll definitely need to talk to him to see what you can do. But I put all of their information on here so that way you guys could get the ball rolling as far as getting those conversations started. And what Gus told me to tell you guys is if you're interested in having a program from Iowa DNR, contact them as soon as you can because their calendar books up very quickly. So please get a hold of them as soon as you can. And those are all the contacts that you can contact as well. Okay, we are switching gears here. We are going to go talk about tween and teen program ideas. Now, when I say tween, that is tailored for ages 9 to 11, and teens are for ages 12 to 18. So I just kind of wanted to share that distinction. So one teen program or tween program you could do at your library is the Get Outside Photo Challenge. That's on page 129 of the guide. And what they suggest is you give teens a photo prompt or prompts and have them take pictures of items that relate to conservation around their neighborhoods using their cell phone cameras. Or it could just be a prompt about clouds. Take a picture of a beautiful cloud or a sunset. Teens can do this alone or they can work in pairs. And after they get all their pictures taken, they can print them out and send them or submit them to the librarian. And if you have a bulletin board or just any wall space, you can hang the photos on the bulletin board or on your wall space. But this would be a great way to get teens interested in nature and conservation. They love to take pictures. It'd be a great way for them to take pictures and maybe get them interested in photography. But this would be a fun activity for them. Okay, Franken activities. I had to put something together about Franken activities because there's a lot of cool things in this guide. Page 127 has an activity called Franken Games. And basically you're taking repurposed game pieces and game boards from discarded games and craft supplies, and you're combining parts from those previously existing games to make up new rules and create your own Franken game. I thought that was a cool activity or a cool idea for a tween or teen. And to your right, there is a program that is not in the resource guide. This is a program that I learned about called Frankenstuffies, and I don't know if you've heard of it, but basically you ask people to donate old stuffed toys, old nice soft stuffed toys, and you'll pick up an embroidery thread, some big needles, and you just and scissors, have the teens cut up the stuffed animals and then sew them onto different animal parts. So this is an example of some Frankenstuffies that some tweens and teens had made. They just took pieces from Beanie Babies. This one, I think in the middle is a Beanie Baby, but they cut it apart, sewed it onto a different body, and voila, they got to take it home. So it's a great way to teach them sewing, fun activity, little messy, but it's a lot of fun. Samantha says, ooh, I love Frankenstuffies. Yes, I love the Frankenstuffies. This is also a creepy Franken activity. We have creepy upcycled toy planners, and this is on page 249. But basically, you take donated dolls and hollow plastic toys. You have your garden netting. You have rocks, small or medium size, succulents or artificial plants, small pots or planters, potting soil, tape, markers, rulers. You cut out the top of the head of the dolls and you fill it up with rocks, the garden netting, your succulents, and you create a toy planter. Very creepy, very fun. I can see a lot of teens getting very, very creative with this. And maybe you have some books on display, some fiction books about, or some fiction novels, Frankenstein, or just some kind of upcycled, morphed kinds of books. But this would be a fun activity to do with teens. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with because this is tight. And as many of you know, I am a journaler. I love to journal. Just on art journal is my jam, junk journaling. They did have a program about bullet journaling. So that's on page 242. I have delved into bullet journaling a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. The picture to your left is actually my page tracker of books. So, and I need to fill in my stuff for November, my goodness. But I created a page tracker where I can track my reading, and it's pretty cool. But you take washi tape, rulers, starter journals, pencils, erasers, markers, scissors, stickers. If you need stamps, that's optional. And they can create their own bullet journal for whatever type of thing they want to track. To your right is create your own nature journal. That's on page 248. The materials, I used recycled paper. When I made the journal, it's super easy. I took all the recycled craft paper that I had, and I used the embroidery needle and thread that I have and just sewed it together. Very easy, very simple. You can use leaves to decorate the front of it, crayons. If you have those fancy brush pen markers, which I adore, you can use those for the bullet journaling, or you can use just regular markers for your nature journal and pencils. And on page 260, there are tips on how to host a nature journal program. So just to let you know. Oh my goodness. Every time I look at teen crafts and what comes out, I always say, what's old is new again. I don't know about you guys, but I have made no-sew t-shirt bags. This is a very easy program to have. If you have some old t-shirts, ask your teens to bring in some old t-shirts, get some scissors, tape, markers, rulers. Basically, you're cutting the bottom of the shirt, you're cutting the collar, you're cutting the sleeves off, and then at the bottom of the shirt, they just make little strips. They're just making little strips, and then they just tie it together in little knots to make the bottom of the bag. Super easy, super fun. Maybe you might have some paint markers if they want to decorate the outside of their no-sew t-shirt bag. Grab some paint markers. That way they can decorate it and make it their own. Super fun, super easy. What's old is new again. Also, I wanted to throw this in there. Mindfulness glitter jars. That's on page 264. And I was kind of surprised that they offered this for teens, but you do have teens that really like mindfulness glitter jars. I mean, and plus glitter. Who doesn't love glitter? I just don't like cleaning it up. But definitely consider having mindfulness glitter jars. I use recycled glass jar. You can use recycled glass jars or plastic bottles. Personally, I like the Voss plastic water bottles or this 12-pack bulk empty plastic reusable water bottles with black lids. I love those. I put the Amazon link below. But you take those, fill them with water, use some Elmer's washable clear glue. That works the best. And some fine chunky glitter or bingo chips. And if you want to use a hot glue gun, you can. I personally don't because those black lids seal very well, but then they have their own mindfulness glitter jar for calming. So, and it looks like Christine said she did these glitter jars last year twice. The same kids wanted to make more. Exactly. Heather says, I have those little books that were on sale from iRead last year that I bought. Those would be perfect for a nature journal. Thank you for the idea. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And All Ira Reads, we have free summer author virtual visits. They are coming soon. Our kids author is Celia C. Perez for Tumble. And our teen author is Samira Ahmed for Hollow Fires. We are working on getting those dates scheduled, and we will let you know as soon as possible when those dates are for summer. Last year's event was great because we had Nikki Smith and Angeline Booley. We had teens and kids ask questions of the authors, and it was great to hear them ask questions like, hey, what do you recommend how do you get started writing? Or what do you recommend I read next? The teens and kids had really great questions to ask the authors, and I was very impressed last year. So please keep this on your radar. Once we know those dates and times, we'll let you know so that way you can add this to your summer reading program. And it's free. This would be, and I also saw that last year, there were a couple of teen librarians that had viewing parties in their libraries. So they had food and they sat and watched on the screen the interview with Angeline Booley and Nikki Smith. And we had a teen poet ambassador that interviewed both authors. So it was great to see that teen representation, and we will let you know when those are scheduled. And I just want to close out with some final thoughts. I know I've given you a lot to think about. But really, what I want to say to everyone is to make summer reading your own. Just make it your own. Plan programs based on the needs and wants of your community. And I would also add to be flexible on themed programs. Be flexible. Someone had asked me in the survey, how do you handle theme burnout? How do you handle it? Because they were just they were reaching a fatigue on the theme. And I understand that. I totally understand that. My words to you is cherry pick items in the resource guide that you want to do. And if there are other things that you want to add to it that aren't part of the theme, that's okay. That is totally fine. That's totally fine. If you know that you want to do a dog man program during the summer reading program and you know it doesn't match the theme, do it. Totally do it. You know your community best. So be flexible on themed programs. You don't have to do every single item in the resource guide. The resource guide is a springboard for ideas. So my advice, look at the resource guide. It'll get you thinking of, okay, what can I do? Or, wow, I want to do this other program as well, that's not in the guide. That's okay. We are just giving you the tools to springboard ideas, to think of more ideas to do. So really, just be flexible on your themed programs. Use the resource guide as a springboard for ideas. And there is no one way to conduct a summer reading program. every program that I've seen last summer was different, and that is okay. It doesn't have to look like the H size library. It doesn't have to look like the A size library or the D size library. You make your summer reading program how you see fit for your community. So there's no one way to conduct a summer reading program. You make it how you see fit. And finally, I can't stress this enough. Please know your limits. It makes me sad when people are burned out and they tell me, oh my gosh, I'm burned out. I can't think, I can't do this. Know your limits. Plan with your limits in mind. Take the time to take care of yourself. Your staff needs you. Your community needs you. So really focus on that summer reading. Focus on that self-care is what I'm trying to say. Because I don't want to see people burned out. That's not the goal of summer reading, is to burn yourself out. The goal of summer reading is just to improve literacy within your community and to have fun. So know your limits, plan with your limits in mind, take care of yourself, take care of your staff this summer, and have fun. And I was real surprised last year. So many people were using the Pinterest board. I was like, oh my goodness. A lot of people had commented that they really appreciated that I had a Pinterest board. And so I decided to create another one again. So the State Library has a Summer Library 2024 Pinterest board. That is the link to it. And I separate it into different categories like preschool, toddler, tween, teen, and adult. So there's different boards on there with different ideas that you can look at. So the State Library's Pinterest page will be updated through summer 2024. So if you get stuck and you're like, I still don't know what to do, take a look at the board. Also, iRead has a Pinterest page as well. I've included their link below. They also, if you're on Facebook, they also have a Facebook group. And what you do, if you're on Facebook, simply type in the search box, iRead 2024, read, renew, repeat, and then you'll be able to join their Facebook group. They also post great ideas on that page, so consider looking at that page as well. And with that, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you guys taking the time to take a peek at all of what the Summer Reading 2024 Resource Guide has to offer. There's so much more in there. I feel like I've only scratched the surface. So again, take the time to read it. There's also bibliographies in there too. There's display ideas as well. So take the time to really look at the resources, because it's great this year. It's wonderful. So thank you.
Exciting. I tried to type in the link of the Pinterest board for yours and it didn't come up. So we might want to test that one before we do the slides.
Oh, you know what? I think it's still a secret because I have it on secret mode.
Okay. Well, so then that link should work then after we hit publish here. But as just a wrap up here, we'll pause the recording in just a moment. So I just want to say thanks for watching. Janeé's contact information up at the top of the slides as well. Check with your director about downloading the resource guide and manual that is available to your library to download one time. So you want to make sure that you get it downloaded and then put it somewhere where everyone knows where it is, on a shared computer, on a flash drive, on a shared network drive, because that really does have a ton of great stuff in it, and we love these ideas. I'm going to put the link one more time in the chat. This is just on the General Summer Library program page on the State Library's website. But coming up next towards, I think we've got office hours in December and January, so register for those. Janeé will be facilitating some conversations about those. And we'll also have a session coming up on adult programming that Marianne Maury and I will be leading towards the end of January. So lots of fun stuff training wise coming up as well. And that link is back in there. So at this point, I'm going to stop our recording